chances are that every day you are producing one of the most overlooked assets unknown to man, just by interacting in the digital world that we live in. Since the moment you rise from bed and go through your daily routine, this precipitation of value is captured through signals in the airways. And even though I believe you own this resource, it eludes you, and you can't take advantage of the wealth that it makes. But the time may be nigh where you are the gatekeeper of this value, and you will be paid simply for engaging with the world that you live in. With the rise in popularity with decentralization and blockchain projects, I can see a time where you own what could be the most valuable asset in the world. You'll finally be paid for your What's going on, Sapiens? Yes, data is one of my favorite topics, but it's also a very esoteric topic. A lot of people don't know how data ownership should be handled or how data privacy should be handled. It's such a wild west type field that there's only 3 states in America that have actually written laws about data: California, Nevada, and Virginia. And out of those laws, it's only covering data privacy and how data should be managed, but not necessarily who owns the data, which I feel is extremely problematic, especially when we live in America, the country of capitalism. Most of our data is given to artificial intelligence and machine learning so that those systems can make money. But what would it look like if we owned our data? I think that could radically change how we lived our day-to-day lives, because we would be making extra money residually monthly. So what exactly does that mean? Like, you may be asking, what's an example of that? How are these machines making money off of our data? Well, let's take a look at Facebook. In 2020, Facebook made $84 billion. That's a lot of money. How did they do that? Because Facebook tracks all of our data. While we're on Facebook.com, while we're on Instagram, and while we're on other websites, Facebook's still able to track where we're going. And they feed all that data to their artificial intelligence or machine learning algorithms, so that when marketers pay Facebook to promote their ads, the ads go directly to the people who want to buy it. And Facebook is able to make more money that way. So because that system is set up the way it is, with our data that we create on Facebook's platform, Facebook gets to make $84 billion. But since we're talking about artificial intelligence and machine learning, real quick, hit the like button if you like the video so far, so that my channel can work against the YouTube algorithm and more people can see my stuff. I appreciate it. Thanks. Wow, that was really corny. So Facebook, $84 billion, right? Well, it's easy for me to say, why doesn't Facebook just, I don't know, give us 50% of what they made in revenue? Well, after you do the math, it's really not that exciting. If we get 50% of the 84 billion Facebook made and split it amongst all the users of Facebook whose data they collected, every single user will only make about $22 at the end of 2020, which isn't really that exciting. But there is another way. Not only can users own their data, but I also think there's a way where we can make money from our data month to month in residual revenue. So our data literally becomes an asset for us. And I want to talk about that more over in the office, so let's go. Hey guys, so we're back in the office and I'm really excited to talk about this idea. I have to admit, it's not mine. I can't take claim to it. I kind of stumbled across it as I was doing some research on data analytics, but I thought it was really cool. And the whole idea is called data banking. And data banking is this concept that we sign up for a service and it tracks our data everywhere, through every website we go to, through our mobile phones, through the apps we use, and it stores it so that it can package it and sell it to marketing agencies or technology companies that need to refine and make better their artificial intelligence. And getting started with this data bank, pause. for a second, data bank. The term data banking just sounds so cool. Like it just rolls off the tongue. I data bank. Do you have a data bank? Who you guys data banking with? Data banking. Sign up for data banking. Anyway. When you sign up for these data banks, they'll have an agreement with you and say that you own 100% of the data they collect. But in their terms and service, they can say, we will license the ability to use your data, package it, and then sell it to these people. So you have 100% ownership, but you may give this data bank some form of split of the profits, but it won't be anything like we see with normal companies, where you get the short end of the deal. With a data bank, I can imagine that you can make anywhere between 80 to 100% of the data. More likely not 100. And if we have to really think about the operations cost of a data bank, I'll say we're probably gonna have to cut it at 70. So you would make 70% of the profits of everything that they sell on your behalf. But think about it. Your data then becomes an asset. You literally don't have to do anything except live your life and go on the internet and surf the web and experience the mobile apps that you use on your phone. And it doesn't matter if Google, Facebook, Amazon, or Apple tracks your data at that point. With this data bank collecting data from everywhere you go, not just with those platforms, you have more value, you have more data, you have more leverage. So what makes your data valuable? The data banks aren't going to work if you're their only customer. They're going to have more users. They're going to have a lot more users. The reason why is because your data by itself, your name, email address, and phone number is not worth a lot of money. It's really only worth maybe 7 cents, if that, possibly lower. But what gives your data value is the ability for it to be clumped in with other people of that same demographic. So for example, a marketing company may want to buy a data set of 100 users that are between the ages of 18 and 26 that have spent the last month on Amazon looking at a certain product. Or they may want to see people in this demographic who live in Texas, what items they're looking at the longest on Instagram, so that they can feed that data to their machine learning algorithms, make it more efficient, and that way they know when they spend their marketing dollars, the people that buy their product are going to be giving them the best return on their investment. That's how our data sets become valuable to these companies and why they would want to purchase it. Because we can refine the way human beings interact with our digital worlds online, the way we surf the web. All those little trails can be given to machine learning algorithms to make them better and more efficient at predicting our behavior. That's what gives our data value. So this whole data banking concept is really exciting, and I don't think it's anything that someone currently is working on. At least I haven't heard of any companies working on it, but it's something that I would definitely sign up for if it got started. Your data literally becomes an asset. And you know me, guys, I'm always looking into the future. So let's just say data banking got started today. We could potentially be looking at people getting paid $50 a month or $150 a month or even $500 a month. It really just depends on how many demographics do you meet. That's going to determine how much you get paid. But what's really exciting is currently we're traversing our mobile phones and our desktop computers and laptops to get on the internet. What happens when we fully dive into virtual reality and then we're experiencing the digital world through our digital avatars, which leave digital footprints to our digital experiences? When that happens, then our data gets so much more valuable because it's a new medium for these machine learning algorithms to predict our behavior, and there's value in that, especially in America, like I said earlier, where capitalism pretty much runs how we use our artificial intelligence in machine learning. So I know there's people on the other side of this camera that are like, I would never give a company the ability to track my data, even if they say it's anonymous, because there can always be hacks, there can always be breaches. I understand that. And you know what, guys, to be quite honest, I'm willing to take that risk. But I'm really curious, how many of you guys, write down in the comments below, would be willing to sign up for a data bank? Someone who could track your data for you, store it. If a company needs to get information on a certain demographic and you meet that demographic, you can get paid off of that. And not just one time, but multiple times a month, depending on how many times certain companies need those types of data sets. Let me know down in the comments how many of you guys would sign up for that. It's something I'm extremely excited about for the future. But that's it, Sapiens. That's how I see us transforming, another way that I see us evolving as a species and getting paid for the activities, for living our lives through this digital world that we're continuously evolving through and expanding on. But until next time, Sapiens, see you later.